Rock Guys would like to welcome Rob DeLuca, UFO bassist. Hey, man, what's up? What's going on?
Hey, Brian. Good to talk to you, buddy.
Man, we go back a long way, you know.
We've known each other a very, very long time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, even the pictures I took down at the studio in New York City when you were recording the Spread Eagle album, you know, we even look back at how much we changed, even my own staff, how much we changed and stuff like that. And look at you play with Spread Eagle, you know, Sebastian, UFO, and now you're you know, an official member of UFO. How's that feel?
Feels really great. Feels really great. You know, I don't know what that means, but I'm being, you know, involved in the records and the pictures and all that, and that's really important to me.
Right. Do you get to submit music too?
Yeah, I co-wrote 3 songs on the new record.
Cool. And I was reading reviews this morning, and like everything's, you know, positive. Everything's like a 9 out of 10, 4.5 out of 5, and you know, the flow of the music's really, really good. How long did this album actually take to, you know, morph into what it is?
Not very long. I think in the summer, I think there was maybe some talk about getting ready to do a new record in the spring, and then in the summer everyone started submitting songs to Phil, and he chose which ones he thought were best suited for his voice and best and strongest. And then we got together, and because of the situation that was happening in Russia and Ukraine and Crimea over there, we had a week of shows booked in that region.
Right.
That we canceled because it was just crazy, and we rehearsed the new songs, and changed them, and did some demoing on them, and then like a month later we went to Kent, England, to do pre-production for them, and then went right into the studio.
Wow.
So it happened pretty quickly in the summer.
Cool. Did you ever think, you know, when you were a young kid and stuff like that, I think you started playing bass around 15 years old, you would ever be at the point that you are now?
Well, I certainly hoped that I would.
Right.
I know when I was living in Boston and going to school, music school up at Berkeley, I really thought I was going to succeed, because I kind of got it in my head at that age, at that time, that it's about persistence, you know, and a lot of people are talented, and also you can develop if you don't have a strong desire, an incredibly strong desire, then you're not going to get anything. So I think at that point I realized how strong of a desire I had, and I really felt it was going to happen.
Right.
I started on guitar at 15, and I switched to bass when I was living in Boston.
Right. Was there a reason why you switched?
Yeah, I switched guitar to bass because Paul DiBartolo was playing guitar. I knew I couldn't be as good as him from Spread Eagle.
Wow. So
he asked me to play bass, and at first I was reluctant, but I agreed. Right. And I'm really glad I did.
Wow. Now, in the Spread Eagle days, it was really raw music and stuff like that. Is UFO a lot more technical compared to Spread Eagle and stuff like that?
I think it's a similar template. I think maybe Spread was a little more raw.
Right.
And a little more aggressive, but that's also the aggression of youth.
Right.
You know, and the fact that UFO can be as aggressive as they are well into their 60s,
right,
is really amazing. But I think it's, you know, it's all rock and roll. I remember when I first played with George Lynch, who's a really nice guy. I remember standing there the first day in the first rehearsal thinking, I've done this, you know, like this is like, it was the same template as Spread Eagle. It's just different people, you know.
Right.
I'm not saying the music was exactly the same, but it was similar, and it was just me plugged into a different situation that I felt very comfortable in, because I felt I had done it for years, you know.
Right.
And it was like an epiphany at the moment. I was like, you know, thinking, what's this going to be like? You know, I've never played with this guy, blah, blah, blah. We got one rehearsal, and then we start the tour tomorrow. I just met him tonight. And I was standing there going, oh, I've done this before.
Wow.
Which was cool because it was comforting. You know, it was comforting to know, oh, I can handle this, no problem, you know.
Right. Now, I mean, playing with Phil Moog, you know, it got to be an experience.
Yeah, Phil, he pronounces it Moog, Phil Moog. He's a true legend, and but he's very, very humble. He's very anti-rock star. He's just trying to be a cool human being, and he succeeds at that very well. Right. You know, and he's written some culturally important classic songs that stand the test of time because we play them every night. Wow.
Now, your other band, Of Earth, it must be a real, you know, change, stepping out in front, doing the lead vocals and stuff like that. Tell me a little bit about Of Earth. I know, you know, it's really a way different style of music than UFO or Spread Eagle or anybody.
Yeah, well, you know firsthand because you've heard it and you've seen it live.
Right.
So,
right.
Well, Of Earth is very different because, like you asked, how UFO compares to Spread Eagle. They're both, you know, aggressive and in a similar hard rock attitude genre, but Of Earth is different. It's definitely not trying to be that.
Right.
So like Spread Eagle and UFO have a lot of similarities and some differences, but a lot of similarities. Of Earth is basically differences. You know, it's a lot more atmospheric. It's a lot more keyboards. It's also got big guitars, but they're not as you know, they don't have quite as much attitude on purpose. You know, it's a whole different approach, and it's more kind of cinematic, and it's important for me to not repeat myself. It's important for me to try different things. It's important for me to sing. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's important for me to, you know, get out there and sing, and it's important for me to write a lot of songs. So, you know, it's just a band that I care very much about.
Right.
We seem to be getting good reviews, and I'm having fun with it.
Yeah. When I saw you live, I felt like a spiritual type feeling, and like you said, it's like atmospheric type music. You know, a real change from you know, metal or anything like that. And it's I think people, once they get a little bit of taste of that, will enjoy it. You know.
I think so. But you know, the thing is, there are elements to it. Even though, as I said, it's very different from Spread Eagle or UFO, there are elements to it that are identifiable to me. Because, you know, I've played hard rock and rock and roll and punk and metal for so many years. There's underlying things that people who are into heavier music do latch onto.
Right.
Because, you know, you can't, you can flex your muscles, but you're always you underneath, you know? And I'm not trying to be anyone but me. You know, that's the beauty of all the bands I play in. They're very genuine, and I'm proud of that.
Cool. Now, you're doing a fairly lengthy tour. What is it like going from town to town, country to country, and do you really get to see what's out there?
Yes and no. I mean, the way tours are scheduled, if you're a typical band, you're playing 5.5, 6 nights a week on average, maybe 5 to 6 nights a week on average. So that means your days off are often travel days, and you know, you're rolling into town and you're kind of tired, and you're getting there just, you know, in time to load in and sound check, etc. So you don't get to see a lot, but after you've been to these places 10, 12, 15 times, you know, the little bits you see add up. So, and I have been to most of those places that many times. So So I would say yes.
Right.
But on your first few go-arounds, you may not get to see that much.
Right. Are the fans any different from different countries, or are they all pretty much the same?
No, they're different. I mean, I'd say U.S. and Europe is similar, but somewhere like South America is a lot more excited.
Right.
And somewhere like Japan is just as into it, but a lot more polite.
Right.
And a lot less excited seeming.
Uh-huh.
But they're still just as into it. So, you know, there's cultural reactions that people have.
Right.
You know, like South Americans are just fiery people, and that shows when they're at a rock show. So, but it's, you know, it's not that I appreciate one more than the other. They're all different, you know.
Right, right. When you go out on tour, do you specifically have anything you ask for on a tour rider?
Like specifically?
Yeah.
You mean a sound rider, music, you know, like
you know, like foods, hotel, anything special that you ask for?
No brown M&Ms. No, I mean, I think I, you know, asked for like yogurt.
Right.
And yogurt is always good. Fruit.
Right.
And musically, I asked for an SVT head, the bass amp head, as old as possible, and a matching cabinet. So those are, you know, I'm not that particular.
Right, right, right.
You know.
And then when
beer.
yeah.
Beer.
Beer.
Absolutely, I am particular about that beer.
Right. Cool. Cool. When you finally come back to the USA, do you get to relax, or you're on the go all the time?
I'm on the go all the time.
Right.
I go right into of Earth mode because, like, for instance, UFO just did Europe,
right.
And we were back for a few weeks, and I already started the third of Earth record, you know, in that little time.
Right.
Just getting into the studio while I can, because I'll be gone for another month, so if I don't do it now, you know, it's going to have to wait.
Right. And when does that Of Earth album come out?
It's going to take a long time, you know, because of this kind of pace of being away. But as long as I'm working on it, I feel good, knowing that I'm making some progress.
Cool. Do you ever foresee Spread Eagle playing another show?
Yeah, we're going to definitely do shows. I'm actually been emailing with some promoters around the country in the past week.
Right.
And you know, I mean, you know me well. You know how much we all love that band. So, and it's a great band. I mean, it's not. We don't do it for nostalgia. We do it because it's a great band and it feels incredibly powerful still.
Right.
And the people who come and see us seem to feel the same way. So.
Right. I know a couple of years ago there was talk about a new Spread Eagle album coming out. Is that possible?
We were working on some songs when we were talking about that, and I think I talked to you about it.
Right.
And we were making progress, but then things slowed, and that's to do with everyone's busy schedules.
Right.
So, to be honest, we're not working on it right at the moment.
Right.
I would like to put out like an EP or something of the few songs that we were working on, just to get something new out.
Cool.
But I'm not ruling out anything. I'm not saying no to anything, but at the moment it's not on the immediate horizon.
Right. Is there any other projects you're working on for 2015?
Why, you think I'm being lazy?
No, I don't think you have time, actually.
I don't have any more time for anything, no. Just trying to, you know, live some kind of semblance of a normal life, to have like maybe a hair of social life, you know, but there's not much time.
You can't have a normal life. There's no possible way, you know? There's no possible way.
I was never normal, that's true.
Wow.
I do remember those pictures you took that was on 26th Street.
Yes.
In a parking lot.
Yeah, I
mean, you took a bunch of pictures, and you took a bunch of live pictures also, but the ones that I'm thinking of, you've filmed us in a parking lot on 26th Street.
Right, I remember what is it called? You know, them steps, the metal steps, what is it called, escape or something like that, or whatever?
Fire escape?
Yeah, fire escape, going up there, and you were climbing on the top on the, that was fun. You know?
We were rehearsing across the street at Countdown Studios.
Okay, that's the studio. I didn't remember what the name of the studio, because you remember I got pictures of you doing the recording, actually eating, everything. That was a lot of fun them days.
Yeah, we had a friend, her name was Rhea Vogel. She owned Countdown Studios, and we rehearsed there, and she even let me live there for a few months once, which was amazing. Yeah,
wow.
Very nice woman.
Wow, what a career you got. I mean, it's amazing how you just progressed so much, and UFO, A Conspiracy of Stars, is doing amazing too, and I congratulate you.
Thank you very much. I don't think it was anything. I think it was just a slow, steady, consistency with me, and that's kind of what I was saying a few minutes ago. When I was young, I was like, if you keep doing this, there's no way, no one's going to stop you. It's basically up to me.
Right.
And because it hasn't been like these, overnight sensation moments.
Right.
It's been just like slow and steady, and one thing always leads to another, and if you do well, then someone notices.
Right. Wow.
And the story is still being written.
Right.
Right.
I guess it's always nice to have a job, So,
it is, especially in this modern world. It's really nice to be working, and to be working in music is very rare.
Right, yeah. I guess you must feel blessed that you actually get to do something you like when most people can't stand what they do. Well,
you must feel the same.
Well, I'm happy I got a family and stuff like that, and I do enjoy what I do, actually.
Of course, I do feel that too. I do. I feel very blessed.
Cool.
I mean, it's strange. I mean, it's difficult to be working in an industry where there's very little money.
Right.
Like most people aren't able to, to have a career in this industry, because you have to look at the back end of the industry. If there's very little money in it, how can it sustain many employees? Right. So
it must be tough.
So I'm very lucky.
Yeah, it must be also tough when all these pirates are stealing your material and all this other kind of stuff, and it's out there before even the release date. That got to be disappointing. I would guess some artists might actually leak them themselves. They get some, I guess reviews or whatever, but a majority, want to hold on to the material until that day.
Yeah, it makes it harder.
Yes.
It definitely makes it harder.
Definitely. Hey, man, it was great talking to you, and, always a friend.
Always amazing.
So would you like to say anything to all them fans out there?
I'd like to say thank you for listening to Brian's show, and Rockeyez rules, and check out the new album by UFO, A Conspiracy of Stars, and we'll be on tour through April and the beginning of May in the UK, so please come check us out.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Rob, man.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.